Garnacho or Rooney, who can tell the difference? Welcome to the Corner Flag. I'm Amogh.
And I'm Mukesh.
You got it right on the first go.
I was like, I wanted to mess around, but I did think against it. I did act against it.
Well done, Mukesh. It is so nice to see you mature into a fully able, willing adult human being who can do things right and not fuck around. It is a fantastic day.
Yeah, it's nice that the bar for praise is so low. I love it.
I think with you, Mukesh, the bar for praise is that low. Specifically with you. Specifically with you.
That's good. It's well earned, I think.
It is well earned. It is well earned. Unfortunately, your team couldn't get a well-earned victory over those citizens, those leaders in the Premier League who are not leaders anymore. And we'll begin with the mammoth clash that was Man City versus Liverpool. We don't even have time to talk about, hey, how was your weekend and all, general random banter. We have no time for. We have to get straight into it because possibly one of the biggest fixtures of the season till date.
Yes, possibly the biggest. It was actually pretty. If we didn't know context, it would feel very scrappy, don't you think?
It was a little scrappy, yes, but I feel like the scrappiness was also predominantly from Liverpool's side because there was a lot of errors that Liverpool were making defensively.
I think Alisson was making a lot of blunders, and I can't believe someone who's been so perfect all season chose this game of all games to make errors. And I think once your goalkeeper starts being shaky, again, the entire team looks nervous because everyone's congregating closer to the goal, right? Everyone steps back about 5-10 meters more even because you want to be, all your four defenders are there, the midfielders push back. Then your attackers are receiving the ball in front in their own half, instead of receiving in the opponent's half. So I think that's what happened because Alisson was super nervy, and I think early on he wasn't punished by Phil Foden because of a false clearance. So it was very nervy. The first half an hour, 45 minutes. But I think the first half in general felt very shaky to watch.
Yeah. And I feel like overall, City dealt with the Salah threat fairly well.
I think Alisson dealt with the Salah threat quite well by making sure that there's no one to give him anything.
Yeah. It was that man again, Erling Haaland getting the lead for Man City, and there were doubts about his fitness. And I think the football community as a whole, the global football community, all the experienced pundits and commentators and etc. I think we should just stop thinking that Erling Haaland can be a doubt for a game, and if he's even half fit, if he can actually make an impact, because he'll make an impact even if he's on crutches. Langda खेलेगा फिर भी goal मारेगा. Why are people even debating if Haaland could be a bit of a risk? This is the time for the team to capitalize on Haaland's lack of fitness and all. नहीं. Lack of fitness उसके vocabulary में नहीं है.
And I think even the other problem is that it doesn't, for Haaland's one of those players, it doesn't take much for him to become a scorer, right? He's not, I don't know, he just, of course he makes it look easy, but because he gets about 10 touches, of which 4 of them are goals. There's no point writing off because the way he plays, it doesn't take much for him, and the way the team is built around him. He's not an industrious player. He's not, doesn't need to stretch himself that much.
It's funny that you bring that up though, because I felt like in this game, and while that has been true for Haaland for the rest of the season, the rest of his time at Man City, I felt like for this game, Haaland did work harder than we're used to seeing him work. He was tracking back and putting in tackles, winning the ball back for his team, and he was playing more of a deeper role, the kind of role that Harry Kane used to play for Spurs. Where as a number 9 striker, he would still drop back into midfield, win the ball back, release Son. He was trying to do that in this game. He was trying to release Foden. He was trying to release Alvarez. And we saw a slightly different side to his game in this game, I feel. And which is just scary as shit because You thought that, no, the fact that he gets only 8 or 9 touches a game was the one drawback of his game altogether, like his all-round game. Like, matlab, yeah, he scores and all, but otherwise he doesn't get involved. He doesn't add anything else to the team. But now we're saying, fuck, he can add that also to his game. He's becoming the 110% footballer. Like, I think he's crossed his 100%.
Yeah, and I think the only positive is that instead of scoring 3 goals, now he's probably scoring 1 goal.
Yeah.
I think that's the only advantage. But otherwise, yeah, fair enough. I think he worked harder than usual.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it's stupid to write off Haaland in any context. Even if he didn't work hard, he just positioned himself around the halfway mark and waited for the ball to come to him. And he jogged till the big D. I think he'll still figure out a way to score goals.
Absolutely. Now, it was again, I think it was the third consecutive time, I think, that Liverpool had an early kickoff after an international break or after a midweek fixture. And obviously, we know how much Jurgen Klopp hates that. He's spoken about it in the media very, very often. He's been very vocal about it. But this time it was, I think, Pep Guardiola's turn to be a little vocal about the situation, because he very sensationally said, we trained for 25 minutes before the Liverpool game.
I mean, okay, can I be very honest?
Yes, please. That is the whole point of this podcast, that we can be very, very honest.
First of all, Guardiola was doing dirty tactics by saying, hey, my players are injured, and then they miraculously come back. I mean, again, there's a little, I don't know why Guardiola's playing scrappy this season, or his version of scrappy, because we discussed earlier on in a month or two ago where Guardiola's trying to undersell the team, etc. Like, even now, I think a lot of players went injured, then they came back and some people stayed on. I'm like, there's no need to do that. You're fucking Guardiola. It's Man City. It's the most expensive squad assembled.
Yeah.
Right. They can, I think they dropped a 100 million defender or 90 million defender on the bench. I forgot.
John Stones.
Yeah. No, but Johnson, I think, was sick. So, like.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what he thinks by building a scrappy mentality.
Guardiola was on the bench.
Yeah, Guardiola. Sorry. That's it. Not Johnston. That's the name of it. But I think it was funnier what Alexis McAllister said, who's probably the nicest and calmest guy. And he's like, I fucking hate it. I'm jet lagged. I must to come and play this game. Why am I being forced to play this game when I'm so jet lagged? I've barely slept. Yeah. I'm like, shit. When the nice guy starts screaming, then you know it's a real injustice.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Guardiola also, just going back to what he said about being able to train 25 minutes. Of course, he was talking about how there wasn't enough time to prepare for the game. That is the point that he was trying to make. But he also was then further asked about if he's able to get through to his players when he has such little time, apparently, quote unquote, with them. And he said, yes, I can do that because I'm good. I'm very handsome. I get through to them. Do you think he's a handsome man, Mukesh?
My opinion is that he's adequately handsome.
Adequately handsome. Why? Adequate. What makes him adequately handsome?
I think his attitude is what makes him adequate.
I have completely stumped you with this line of questioning, haven't I?
I have. It's been a long time since I've had to rate any man, and the last man I've had to rate was Hrithik Roshan, and then I gave him a 10 on 10.
Why did you have to rate Hrithik Roshan?
Because I felt things happening when I saw Hrithik Roshan in Bang Bang. And I'm like, hey, calm down.
Okay.
So I was like, that was the last time.
Good to know. Good to know.
God, don't act like you didn't have anything when watching Hrithik Roshan. Don't act like you are, I'm so straight. I'm unbentable. I've never bent. Have you seen Hrithik Roshan? Anyway, that was the first and last time. So now to be put in this position again has stumped me.
Yeah.
It has pushed me on my unwavering commitment to being straight. Right. And I'm unwavered.
Achha.
And I continue to be so until you bring me Hrithik Roshan in his prime.
Achha, so the caveat is it has to be Hrithik Roshan in his prime.
Yeah, then there might be some flutter maybe, but until then it's just...
Right.
What do you think? You also have to rate him.
I think he's a little weird. Okay, wow. And I'll tell you why. He's a little weird. Because fuck the animation and all of that, the way he talks, his body language and all is a bit over the top, and that's fine. I mean, just looking at his face, he's not that good looking a man or anything. I just find it extremely weird. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, you and the listeners, I mean. Is the next time you watch a Man City game, just observe Guardiola on the touchline. He does this, you know how sportsmen, like athletes, mainly in football. I don't know about other sports, but definitely in football. Like footballers tend to spit a lot when they're playing.
Yeah.
Like they'll just hack up a big ball of phlegm, I think, and they'll just spit it out. They're constantly spitting. I don't know why. How that affects their overall performance.
I'm like, why are you dehydrating so much?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how that affects their performance at all. I don't know if that is like fucking grams of body weight that are being expelled to make them faster. I don't know what it is. If anybody has any answer to this, I would genuinely like to know why footballers spit so much. But on the touchline, Guardiola does the same thing. Except he never spits it out. He never spits it out. He'll build up a spitball and you'll see it in his mouth, but then he'll gulp it back in.
Yeah, actually, good point. I've actually noticed that now that you mentioned it. I feel like this doesn't sound unfamiliar or like it doesn't sound like a behavior that hasn't crossed my visual field or whatever.
Next time you watch City, pay attention. He always does that. He'll always like build up a little bit of a spitball. You can see the beautiful white on his lips, and then he'll just suck it back in.
You know how they say, right? Hot boys always like, they like make their eyes really small.
Yeah.
They have that weird pouty grin.
Yeah.
They have the weird pouty grin. And they laugh like, they have like that weird laugh. Like, I think this is one of the hot boy things that we just don't know. Like, we just like hot boys don't spit. We're like, what really? It's like, think of any last hot boy, you know.
Yeah.
They don't spit. Like, have you ever seen Hrithik Roshan spitting? No. And clearly Guardiola thinks he's one of them, so he doesn't spit.
He doesn't spit, right? The question now I need to ask you is, have Liverpool handed Arsenal the title this season?
Oh, wow, Amogh, look at you trying to make drama out of thin air.
Trying to build narratives. That is the job that I have as host of this podcast. No, because I say this because Arsenal did win, and we'll get to Arsenal 1, Brentford 0 later. But Arsenal's victory and Liverpool and Man City drawing and dropping points means that Arsenal now have played 13 games like Man City and Liverpool, but are top of the table with a 1-point gap. So they're on top with 30 points, City in second with 29, and Liverpool in third with 28. Tied for third, fourth space with Aston Villa on 28 as well. So Aston Villa are in the top 4.
Yes, Aston Villa made it to the top 4, and I'm sorry, we'll get to laughing at Tottenham a little later.
Yes, we will get to that. But you haven't answered my question. Have Liverpool handed Arsenal the title?
I think they have definitely halted City's progress.
Right.
I think coming into the game, I wanted the 3 points.
Is there any game where you don't want the 3 points, Mukesh?
I know, but there are some games where you don't expect them. Maybe let me put it that way. Like, there are some games where I'd rather. I'm okay with a 1-1. Maybe like if it was 2013 and Liverpool came to Man City or something, or a much stronger team, I would be okay with the draw. But I think this game, I expected Liverpool to take 3 points. But given how badly they played in the first half, I'm glad Liverpool walked away with a point.
Yeah.
With some nice bit of brilliance from Trent.
Yeah, let's talk about that Trent goal very quickly then, because to see the right back in that position attacking so high, and that too not from the wings, from the center.
It was really funny because Cody Gakpo, who's the striker in this equation, he technically took the man away.
Yeah.
And the right back had to come and score, right? And that is an absurd conundrum for a Man City defender that, okay, the rules tell me that I should go with the striker, and I think they went with the striker, and I'm like, do we leave the left back? And also it was a brilliant first touch.
Yeah.
To control I think he controlled the ball and set it up for himself in the same shot, which is probably what saved him that extra touch too.
Yeah. Fantastic technique, no doubt about
fantastic technique. And it was his, I think he scored against Man City at Etihad before, so it's nice. I think, like big players turn up in big moments.
Yeah.
And I think without that goal, Liverpool, there was no chance that Liverpool were walking away with even a point without someone doing something exceptional.
Yeah.
Because of the way they were playing. It didn't seem like a team that could generate that goal. Some person had to generate it. So I'm glad.
You were so close to being Michael Owen in that statement.
Right?
You were so close to being the most generic, cliche-driven football commentator. So you were like, without that goal, Liverpool had no hope of coming away with anything.
No, I meant like in terms of they had the team didn't look like they will generate a goal by themselves. They were waiting for someone to, either Salah to produce some magic or Darwin to create some chaos, or tent to
we've
create
got a few questions about Darwin Núñez and what happened with Pep. So let's not talk about that here, because once we go to the question segment, we can answer that over there. For now, let's go over to Everton 0, Manchester United 3.
Oh, the failure of narrative in front of our eyes.
What is the failure in this narrative? Please tell me.
Like, you assume that a wronged Everton will claw their way back and teach the big clubs a lesson to not mess with them. And yet, the moment of magic came from United.
Yeah.
The 3 points went to United.
Yeah.
And disappointment went to Everton.
So it's funny because I was talking to Aakarsh pre-match and during the match as well, while the match was going on. Firstly, I was on my way home while the lineups were announced, so I didn't see the lineups at 9 p.m. when they came out. And Aakarsh had messaged. So when I reached home, I saw his message, and then I saw the lineup. His message was, how long has it been since Anthony Martial started a game for Manchester United? I was like, oh fuck, Martial is starting? What? And there was proper reason, because Højlund is injured, so he was unavailable for this match. And being the only other striker in the team, he warranted a start. But it just made sense. Like, I feel like even if Højlund was available, Ten Hag would have started Martial in this game, because Anthony Martial loves scoring against Everton. He's got 9 goals against them now. In fact, I remember a few years ago, I was at Old Trafford for a United-Everton game. This was Rooney's comeback to Old Trafford after moving to Everton again. And I think we beat them 4-0 in that game. And again, Martial scored in that game as well. He loves a fucking goal against Everton. And even that goal came, it was perfect. It was such a proper Martial goal. Like, the perfect run, timed his run well, took it really well. The first touch was fantastic. Nice little dink over the keeper. Against Everton, Anthony Martial, Thierry Henry ban jata hai. Like, I don't know what happens to him, but he does that. So we were talking, and he was like, oh, fuck. We were like, oh, yeah, Martial is definitely going to score. And I was telling him, yeah, there is a chance that Everton get something out of this. It's at Goodison. The Goodison fan base is obviously very pissed off with the points deduction. They were holding up those placards for protest and all. So the atmosphere was going to be absolutely banging. And after United take the lead, and we'll get to the Garnacho goal also in detail, but after United take the lead, for a majority of that first half, Everton controlled the game. So मेरी जो फटी हुई थी ना कि I felt like Everton are going to score.
And then what happened? Tell me. And then how you felt?
then I started. It was an escalation of happiness. That's the only thing that I can say. So yeah, safe to say that Aakarsh got the prediction game on this game right. I didn't. I was the pessimist in me was soundly beaten. And the pessimist in Aakarsh was also soundly beaten. So it was good. 2 minutes in now, that was the wonder goal. 2 minutes in, 2.5 minutes in, Garnacho pulls out an absolute fucking worldie. What a goal.
What a goal. Oh my God. It's probably, I don't know, I would say it's goal of the season.
It has to be goal of the season.
It has to be. I'll be very surprised if the remaining season provides a goal. There could be important goals, but I think none that's just made for a highlights package.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, I think there's a way in which he is forever going to be part of a highlights reel.
Yeah.
Like, like that when the bass drops moment, they're going to use that goal. And I think he's immortalized, no matter what kind of a career he has now.
Yeah.
That's just, it's going to be there for that highlights package. So,
absolutely.
Fantastic for him.
Absolutely. He scores that goal very, very similar to Rooney's goal against Man City in 2011, I think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it was the same technique that was used, but even you could put them both side by side and it was just almost picture perfect. Of course, a lot of purists are saying Garnacho actually executed it perfectly because it came off his foot, whereas Rooney's came off his shin. Mukesh, between Rooney's goal and Garnacho's goal, which one is the better one according to you?
I'll pick Garnacho because I expected Rooney to do it.
Oh,
like not at that moment, but if you told me based on their careers, would Rooney have such a goal? I'm like, of course. In fact, he probably might have 2-3, and that just speaks to Rooney's brilliance. So as a player, of course, I'd pick Rooney, as would most people.
Yeah.
But just as a goal, the fact that it came out of absolutely nowhere, I would pick Garnacho's goal.
Right.
Just his goal.
Right. he did the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration after that, and he seemed surprised himself. Like it was a weird mixture of I'm going to try and act like I meant it and be cool about it, but at the same time, what the fuck did I just do?
You can't. Yeah, I don't think. Like exactly right. The fact that he didn't expect it himself. The fact that I'm thinking, like, what was his plan? Like, Rooney has the confidence. Rooney would be disappointed if that didn't go in.
Yeah.
Right? This guy knew he'd look like an idiot if it doesn't go in. Like, how did he do it? Like, how did he muster up the courage to be so foolish?
I think it just happens in the spur of the moment. I don't think you have enough time to think. It's just instinctively you just do what you think is going to work, and when it works, it fucking works wonders. But even after the game, when Garnacho was asked about it, he was like, I couldn't believe it myself, to be honest. I know it's still early on in the season, but I think this is goal of the season. Like, he himself saying it just adds another edge to this entire scenario, right?
Yeah, it was fantastic, that goal. Oh my God.
Oh, it was absolutely crazy. At least one trophy is coming to United. Goal of the season. At least एक तो trophy आ रहा है United के पास. I'm happy. End the season. It's fine. It's okay. Right, from there we'll go to Newcastle 4, Chelsea 1. The Chelsea free fall continues. Like, if you looked up the definition of inconsistency in the dictionary, I think उसके बाजू में Chelsea का logo रहेगा.
Yeah, this was also, they started really well. They seemed to have the team. I thought they'd found their finishing touch quite literally. And yet, I can't believe they were down 4-1 by the end of the game. And a man down. Yeah.
The first goal, of course, Alexander Isak's goal, again, just beating that offside trap very, very brilliantly. Like, the Chelsea defense just didn't know what was going on. They just did not seem like they were in sync. Lovely little finish from Isak as well. But let's talk about the Reece James red card, right? The 2 yellows. Now, the first yellow card is an absolute stupid one because he kicks the ball away. But what do you like? Did you think it was a deliberate kicking of the ball away?
To me, here's the thing. He's the captain. He's a captain who also very famously, I think, tweeted saying a new age is going to begin or a new era is going to begin before the start of the season. So obviously, first he has to be aware of all the rules, irrespective of what the intention is. You can't be kicking a ball away.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a very poor call to make him captain, first of all, because life is going too fast for him. He's not going to be able to catch up with that.
I agree.
And then for the captain, then he's been as injury prone as Thiago Silva, right? If not worse.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I feel like I completely agree.
It was not only from as a player perspective, but as a captain, I think it was a very poor thing for him to kick the ball and get a yellow card for it. Pushes, and as a right back, he is going to need that one clinical foul to stop a goal. He's going to need it, as he had to do it at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like every right back, I think, sort of needs one foul that they're going to do a game. They know it because they're going to be caught off guard. They're going to have to run faster. And it just happens, whether it's he was a wing back. So I thought it was very stupid to get that sort of a silly yellow card and very uncaptain-like.
Yeah, very, very ridiculous. Speaking of Thiago Silva, because he has been the stand-in sort of captain in the shadows, and Reece James has himself said that he draws a lot of inspiration from Thiago Silva. He's like a mentor to him, etc., etc. But Thiago Silva had a nightmare of a game himself because his error directly leading to Joe Linton's goal. Again, like, what is wrong with Chelsea's defense? Yeah, because when their attack is not working as well as it should, and they just can't find the back of the net, their defense somehow managed to keep them in games. But now that Chelsea have started scoring, their defense will be like, chal abhi in log handle kar lega, we can go on holiday. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, there's only so much Raheem Sterling's butt can save Chelsea.
Yeah. Fantastic free kick by him though.
Oh, fantastic free kick. Because I think just before that, I don't know if he missed an opportunity or there was a sensational save.
Yeah.
But just before that, he had a moment on Enzo being deflated. I think he just goes for it, right? Like wow. I mean, again, I know in this case his butt wasn't the reason, but still fantastic. Credit where credit's due.
Credit where credit.
Maybe not to his butt.
Absolutely. But Chelsea now find themselves stuck in the 10th position, 4 points away from West Ham, who are in 9th. Do you think this is going to be a season where Chelsea can justify all the transfers that they've made and make it to the Champions League or European football?
I have another theory.
Which is?
I have a feeling just because of the sheer number of players, facilities, and substitute Chelsea has in the last quarter of the season, and because of the number of injuries that are going to happen to the teams like Aston Villa, Brighton, and West Ham, I feel like Chelsea are going to make it back up to top 6, top 7.
Oh, you're saying that they'll have a later on in the season sort of push.
And I feel like that push is only going to come into the fact that they will have, because they have a little bit of extra wealth and resources. So I think they just need to hang on to 8th to 10th until the last quarter of the season, and then they'll find a bump up.
They'll find a bump up to like 5th or 4th.
Not 5th or 4th, definitely. I don't think they're crossing.
Don't say 7th. They'll have to hang out till late and they'll bump up to 7th.
But that is huge for them. They were 16th at some point. I think, come on, the way Chelsea's playing, being 7th and getting some European football is their biggest dream right now. Raheem Sterling, player Antalyaspor, is his biggest, and winning that Conference League trophy. That's the Champions League.
That is a dream that Chelsea fans are waiting for. I mean,
exactly.
they've never experienced it like this, and for a small team from London to actually, dream of such highs in the league is fantastic, and we hope they make it. Right. On that note, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll take your questions. We'll talk about a historic victory for Luton and Kai Havertz getting on the score sheet. How the fuck did that happen? See you on the other side. Welcome back to the Corner Flag, everybody. And as always, we begin the second half with some questions. Questions with the Corner Flag.
Dude, answers also, huh?
All right, our first question is from RBNR, who says, what did Nunes say to Pep?
What did Nunes say to Pep? Because I know that there was some issue that happened after the full-time whistle, and people were holding Pep back and people were holding Nunes back, and Pep just looked like, "Arey, par main to sirf baat karna chahta hai."
Yeah, I think Pep said, "Hey, nice goal," sarcastically. To which point Nunes said, "Which shampoo do you use?"
It was, I mean, again, like, this is Pep just doing his Gan ki dana, because we remember what he had done to Nathan Redmond as well. Just so passionately talking to Southampton's Nathan Redmond, saying, "Tu aise kyun khel raha hai? You're so much better than this." Pep, stop managing other players, like other teams. They're not your teams. Manage your own fucking team.
And did you hear about the fact that he called Zobolai and Gravenberg, he called him Gravelurch or something, Graverch. He completely mispronounced their names. And again, part of his...
Which is, again, it's so obvious that he's playing mind games because he's such a football nerd. There is no chance in hell that he doesn't know how each player in the world...
Exactly. And that to not know the two biggest arrivals... in Liverpool's midfield, which is the one place Man City's always beaten Liverpool and etc. So I was like,
I feel like if you ask Pep today about a player who plays for Mumbai City FC also, or fucking round glass Punjab, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, this guy. No, he plays in this role. No, he plays like this, and then he came from this club, and he has a bright future ahead of him, and I'm sure he'll get called up to the Indian team very soon." Like, he'll have that data off the back of his mind.
Exactly.
Like, he'll be very easy to bring it up, right? So I find it extremely hard to believe that he doesn't know how to pronounce their names.
It's the silliest fucking tactic. Okay, again. Well done, because it's pissing me off, so I can only imagine how much it pisses off actual players.
Yeah.
But it's such a stupid tactic. It's so stupid.
It is very stupid. I feel like there's another question that Ashwin had.
Yeah, there's a related question. But it has two-parter, which is seeing the Spurs downfall is so satisfying, which is a sentiment we all share.
Yes.
And the second one is that thoughts on Darwin standing up to Pep. I don't know if he was standing up as much as he was just trying to put him down. I don't know if Pep... I don't think Darwin was fighting against some some injustice,
Yeah.
or Pep did some unnecessary, whatever, unfair thing that would have riled up. I think it would have been something very stupid.
Yeah.
It would have been something very stupid for which Nunes would have.
I feel like Nunes is so tall that no matter what he does, he's standing up to people.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was quite satisfying to see it.
I think Nunes also has his program has two things. He has my team good, other team bad. So I think
yeah.
anything that feeds into those data points, he's just more aggressive he gets, or the happier he gets.
Absolutely. And as a neutral, I think it was fantastic to see some sort of needle in the post match. It's always great to see. So yeah, it was quite satisfying. And just talking about the first half of the question, and we'll get to Spurs in the second half. But yeah, man, I think we all like what Ange is doing at Spurs. I think Ange Postecoglou as a manager seems like a breath of fresh air. He's got some very interesting opinions on football. He's got some very interesting opinions on life, which are different from what we've continuously heard from other managers. So it's nice to have that kind of manager in the Premier League. But yeah, it's the naivety of Spurs is being broadcast to the world right now, especially when they're going through a tough time like they are with the injuries. So yeah, and we'll get into more detail on that when we discuss the game a little later.
Yeah. Gunty.92 asks, why are we even watching football? Do you all sponsor therapy? For your listeners, isn't Gunty the one who sponsored us?
Yeah, he did at one point. So yes, if you want therapy, I guess it's your sponsorship itself that sponsors the therapy. Also, I feel like the conflict itself, the whole point of this podcast is therapy for all of us. Like, while we talk about football, it's therapy for us also. And then it's therapy for our listeners also. So we can all be miserable together. And when we have some small joys like our teams beating some other people's teams 3-0, then we can collectively laugh at them. But all in all, this whole community is about group therapy.
Yeah, so Ganti, you have your answer. Or you could sponsor us more.
Yes.
And we will provide you therapy through this podcast.
Absolutely.
Final question is from Noob Clicks, who says, Amogh, tell us your personal experience with Des MCFC versus Nasser prediction.
Okay, so personal experience with Des has been fantastic. I was lucky enough to do a couple of shoots with him and kind of talk to him about the work that he is doing at the club.
Amogh, say who Des is for our other listeners.
Yes, Des is of course Des Buckingham, the ex-coach now of Mumbai City FC, who's just recently departed to manage his hometown club Oxford United in League 1 of the English Football League. He's somebody who has won us the ISL League Shield. He was well into his second season now. Third season. So things were going really well. So it was a bit of a shock that he had to depart mid-season. So I feel like while talking to him, I realized that he's such a humble guy. He's such a down-to-earth guy. He's very jovial, always loves a laugh. Is somebody who's very keen on doing things that are cool, that are he's not stuck up, right? Like he's always got time for the fans. He'll always stop and talk to the fans who've come to meet him. He'll never kind of shy away from that. Just a thorough gentleman. I think his relationship with the players also was very, very clear to see for everyone. Every one of those players respected him, learned a lot from him, and I just wish him all the success at Oxford United, man. Like he was a fantastic coach for us, and I hope whoever takes his place now continues in the same mold, because that's what this team needs, and that's the backbone that he has created for this team. The good thing is that the rest of the coaching staff are still here. So I believe that for Nasaji, which is our next AFC Champions League fixture away to Nasaji in Iran, which happens tomorrow or today, because this podcast will release on a Tuesday. So it's a tough one. It's been a tough campaign for us in the ACL this season. But hopefully we can get on the score sheet tomorrow and try and get a point, maybe 3. But to be very, very honest, the fact that Des is not there kind of puts the entire preparation into a bit of a grey area, even though the assistant coaches, Hiroshi, Tony, they're all very, very good. And I expect Hiroshi to be caretaker manager till the new manager is appointed. It is still going to be a little tricky to work on that fixture. I just hope that the new manager is installed well before the ISL kicks off for us again. So yeah, let's see. Fingers crossed for tomorrow's ACL fixture against Nasaji, but we'll see.
Yeah, and with that, we're done with questions.
Awesome. Very quickly, let's talk about Luton 2, Crystal Palace 1. A historic first victory for Luton Town in the Premier League at Kenilworth Road at the expense of old Roy Hodgson.
I know, but I'm just glad. I think rather than the tragedy of seeing the sad face on Roy Hodgson, I'm just glad to see joy in Luton Town's, all the club and the people and a little small hut, which is called a stadium.
Yeah.
And there were, I think it was 30 insane minutes of football, and it was just everything just happened. It was incredible.
Ex-United player Terin Mengi getting on the score sheet as well. So United represent and all the big results.
Yeah. Oh wow. nice. Take credit. Maybe we should add these 3 points also to United.
Yeah. We really need them. Because above us in the league, 2 points above us in the league. In fact, our title challengers, Tottenham Hotspur, and they are 2 points over us in what, 5th place now, I think. 5th place, because they lost 1-2 to Aston Villa at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It was a fantastic game, frenetic end-to-end game between the two sides, but Unai Emery's Aston Villa coming out winners in the end.
Yeah, I thought they were. Honestly, even when you looked at the whole game, it felt like Aston Villa could have had a much more comfortable win. Even though Tottenham started strongly, I thought towards the end, maybe it was exhaustion, or towards middle to an end, I thought they were quite weak. They didn't have the same energy and pace that Aston Villa had. So I thought, I'm glad they won, but I think they could have had it even better.
Yeah, but
I don't know, I sound like one disappointed Indian dad, but
but at the same time, Spurs also had so many chances. Like Heung-min Son was offside 3 times. He put the ball in the back of the net 3 times and he was offside. And the other 2 times, Brennan Johnson missed it by 1 inch. Like couldn't get to the end of a cross. Son couldn't get to the end of a cross. Like it was just so close for them. They could have scored 6.
I doubt. I think that was as close. I really doubt they could have. I don't know. I didn't make much of those chances. I thought it was crazy that they even came that close. To me, Aston Villa had this game like they looked like they were going to outscore Tottenham. I don't think they had an answer for Ollie Watkins, who I thought was sensational again today.
Yeah,
he was very, very good.
The kind of football that Spurs played, like with all the fancy flicks and all, it was really fancy flicks. Sounds like the brother of Hansi Flick.
Sorry.
Fuck you, dude. No, with all the fancy footwork and all the lovely little interplay between Kulusevski and Son and Brennan Johnson, they just couldn't finish their chances. They were just not lethal in that final third. And what is the point of playing that football if you're not going to back it up with the scores, with the results and with the goals?
If only they had a charismatic and talismanic striker who would have stuck to the club for many years. If only.
No, I feel like...
Who would play like a hurricane. Could have, if only.
I don't know who you're talking about, dude. But yeah, like I feel like...
Lewandowski.
Exactly. No, what do you think about Spurs? And the fact that they had been considered as title challengers early on in the season when they're top of the table.
I mean, remember, they celebrated with their families after winning against a 9-man Liverpool with an unfair goal or whatever. Anyway, so other than that,
why are you being so salty about it? Do you not remember that famous picture of Liverpool players and Jurgen Klopp celebrating a 2-2 draw against West Brom, like they'd won the Club World Cup?
Yeah, but they were thanking the fans in this year. They were celebrating with the families. It was very different.
Wait, so are you again celebrating with families? Like, whoa, if you win against Liverpool under dodgy circumstances, you can't go out and celebrate with your family. What is your problem with families, dude? What do you have against families?
My problem is...
Who hurt you?
Liverpool.
Well, yeah, fair. No, I just feel like we kind of figured that out when Spurs went down to 9 men against Chelsea and lost heavily against Chelsea. Because they were, even after being down to 9 men, they were playing a high line, and Postecoglou famously said, that's just who we are. That's just how we are going to play, and that is our identity, and we are not going to change that regardless of the game situation. I think that is the naivety of a manager where he is unable to adapt. And I think that is being found out very, very heavily by teams all over the league. Where
all over the league, and also someone, you can't do that against an Emery.
Yeah.
Emery is not a 35-year-old who's been given in charge of a relegation club, right?
Yeah.
Emery is someone who's mad enough to believe that Aston Villa can be title challengers.
Yeah.
Whether that's a fact or not, that might be something else. But the fact that Emery believes that, so he is going to think Tottenham is the underdog, and to give him the high line, it's a blunder for sure.
Absolutely right. Speaking of blunders, Aaron Ramsdale. Let's move on to Brentford 0, Arsenal 1. Aaron Ramsdale did start for Arsenal because David Raya is, of course, on loan to Arsenal from Brentford, so he was ineligible to play. Ramsdale being given his chance, and with everything that has happened with Ramsdale, his dad coming out and saying, "Oh, he's lost the happiness, he's lost that smile," and then him coming out and talking to Ian Wright about how he only concentrates for 15 minutes, and that's all he's able to do. That blunder that almost gave Brentford a goal, that was outside of the 15 minutes of concentration that Ramsdale is able to give you. Like, it is so stupid. Like, how dumb is he?
I mean, also, to me, it was incredible because all the more reason for him to be even more focused after saying something that silly, right? I can just imagine the PR team going on overdrive for those 5 seconds where they thought it was going to be a goal.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was Zinchenko or someone who just about cleared it off the line.
Yeah. It was ridiculous, and I feel like his days at Arsenal are numbered, and he can count down the days to January if he's able to concentrate on the counting, which I don't think he'll be able to. So we might see Ramsdale moving to a different club in January, and I think that he deserves that, because honestly that was terrible. And what I also hate is, like, at the final whistle also, where he picks up a relatively easy throw-in that Brentford put in, and then just clutches to the ball like, oh, I've done it. I've kept a clean sheet. Bhai, tune kuch nahi kiya. Like, there were times when he could have made the save. Like, shot on goal comes in and he's diving in the right area to save the ball. But a defender will still pop in front of him and heroically, like, put his body in the middle and block the shot. Because even the Arsenal defense are like, bhai, iska koi chance nahi lene ka hai. Even if he's diving, he might lose concentration mid-dive and let in a goal. Let him act like he's goalkeeping, but we are the ones who are actually going to be goalkeeping.
I thought Brentford should have been way more clinical. I thought they had a bunch of really nice chances. Again, if only they had a striker who could have bet on them, who we could have bet on to finish these chances.
Absolutely. Right, on that note, it is time to go on to our final segment of the show, which is surprisingly Mukesh's game.
Yes, everybody, welcome to Mukesh's game, mini version, which is happening because, as you know, Aakarsh has not been turning up for many episodes, and he deserves to be punished for that. And we're wondering, how does he deserve to be punished? And there is only one fitting way, and that is to give a chance to Amogh to win some extra points.
Yeah.
Because, as you know it, Amogh has been previously punished for bad behavior. In the first episode for acting too smart, and in the second episode for speaking out of turn. And he finds himself 6 points behind Aakarsh in Mukesh's game. Currently, Aakarsh is on 41 points and Amogh is on 35 points. Now, through this mini game, we get to see if Amogh can make the scores even or even go beyond Aakarsh and maybe comfortably go into mid-40s, or will he fumble this golden opportunity and stick to exactly where he is?
Will I be Erling Haaland or will I be Kai Havertz?
What? Both of them finished.
Yeah.
Or will you be Alisson? Actually. Saddens me to make these jokes, but I have to. Right, Amogh, are you ready to win some extra points?
Let's go.
All right. For your first question, I'm going to list out three facts about a club. You have to tell me which club I'm talking about. Correct?
Okay.
I'm going to read out three facts. If you guess it at the first fact, you get 5 points. Second fact, you get it at 4 points. Third fact, you get 3 points. All three facts talk about the exact same club. All right?
Okay.
So, this club was the first club to install undersoil heating. You have one guess.
Wait, and this is a Premier League club or?
Yeah, it is no. This could be any top tier clubs from Europe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it Real Madrid?
Nope. I'll give you a second clue. This is the first club to install dugouts. And I'll add a second clue. This is a Premier League club.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with Liverpool.
Not good enough, Amogh. And this might give you a hint. This is the first club to have a church attached to its stadium. So with that, I'll read out the 3 clues again, or 3.5 clues, which is that it's the first club to install undersoil heating. It's the first club to install dugouts, also a Premier League club. And it's the first club to have a church attached to its stadium.
Okay, I'm going to take a wild guess and say Everton.
Excellent, Amogh. You get 3 points. It is Everton. All of these facts are available on the Everton website, so please check them out. But yes, it is Everton. Everton is the first club to have dugouts. Did you know that? I was very surprised. The church part made sense given Everton's history.
Yeah,
but
that was the clue that made it pretty certain in my head, because I kind of had a vague idea about Everton's history, so I knew that that is probably
well done. Now I'm going to talk about a second club. And I'm going to do the same format, read out 3 clues, and then you can tell me which club I'm talking about. All right?
Okay.
This was the first club to have its own podcast.
Have its own podcast, huh? Liverpool.
Oh, I'm sorry, Amogh. Sadly, that's not the correct answer. Now I'll give you your second clue, but you can only win 4 points at this level. It's the first club to have its own online social networking site.
They have their own social networking site.
Working site for their own fans.
Something as ridiculous as this can probably only be done by Daniel Levy at Tottenham Hotspur.
Excellent guess, but not good enough, Amogh.
Stop playing with my emotions, man.
And the third one is, this is the first club to sell tickets via text message.
Fuck, this is...
So I'll read out the 3 clues again. It's the first club to have its own podcast. It's the first club to have its own online social networking site. And it's the first club to sell tickets via text message.
You know what? I have no clue. But I'm going to take a guess. Because I know you really well. And I know what a bastard you can be. Is it Everton again?
Amogh, excellent. You know me. You didn't play the game. You played the man. Excellent. I just had to share this with our listeners and to tell you how ridiculous a club Everton is. But other than that, some excellent quiz playing by Amogh. Fantastic. So if you visit the Everton website, which for the sake of this quiz, I was visiting the Everton website, and there's a page called the First of Evertons, right? The many firsts of Everton. And it's fantastic because the first club to be founded in some X and X date the first club to host the final or semi-final, the first club to win the European Cup. And as you go down the order, it just gets more ridiculous and their achievements get ridiculous. It's like, first club to have a podcast. I'm like, that does not compare with hosting the semi-final in 1934 or whenever, right? It really doesn't, but only Everton. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And I would really like to be on the social networking site of Everton fans. And how depressing it is. Like, you have apps for hookups, like you have apps for like just feeling pathetic and depressed. But some excellent quiz playing, Amogh. Fantastic. You played the game, but more importantly, you played the host.
Absolutely.
Which brings you on equal points with Aakarsh. Now you're both 41 each. So fantastic. Now you have a chance to take the lead from him. Each question is worth about 2 points. Okay. So now the next section will challenge on how closely you are following this season. Simple premises, simple basics for the question, but it's all about this season. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay. There is a very particular statistic on the Premier League stats page. It's called who's lost most aerial battles, right? Lost most aerial battles. There's something called won most aerial battles. And there's something called lost most aerial battles. Right? The first player on this list, I will tell you his name. Right? The first player is Carlton Morris, right? Who plays for Luton Town.
Yes.
Right? Now, I need you to tell me who the second player is for lost most aerial battles.
Okay. The fact that Carlton Morris is number 1 and he's a striker means that number 2 could also be a striker. It's a little inconceivable to think that a centre half is topping the list of players with the most aerial duels lost. Who's a striker who hasn't really been playing well and does find himself in interesting positions where he'll be in an aerial duel with someone? And again, I'm going to play the man, which is you. And I'm going to take a punt on Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Oh my God, Amogh, excellent. It is Dominic Nathaniel Calvert-Lewin, as we've learned. With that, you get 2 points. And you take a comfortable lead against Aakarsh.
I'm feeling so bad for Aakarsh right now. I'm feeling so bad for Aakarsh because he's missing an absolute whopping this Everton bashing that is going on. Poor guy, his girlfriend is unwell and he's taking care of her. He is doing a noble thing and he's getting absolutely pelted for it, which just proves that a harami like Aakarsh can only be defeated by harami panta. Like it is the way. You can only fight fire with fire, and you can only fight Aakarsh's assholery with assholery of your own. I love it.
Yep.
Love it.
And also, it's the one time his shit dumb knowledge about his club would have actually helped him if he was present, but he needs to be punished for missing.
Absolutely.
Right. The second question, which is in a similar zone, is that there's not statistic called errors leading to goal. Right? Now, there are 4 players on top. This statistic for this year so far. The first 2 I will tell you. They're Wes Foderingham, a goalkeeper, and Tim Ream, right, who plays for Fulham. Now, these 2 are on top. Along with them, 2 others share this honor. I need you to tell me the remaining 2 players. For each player, I will give you 2 points.
Okay, again, and this is just a shot in the dark.
And you get exactly 2 guesses.
Okay. I'm going to go for Michael Keane and Ashley Young.
Amogh, excellent guess. But I'm sad to say that you get only 2 points because Ashley Young is the correct answer.
Okay.
And the second one is not Michael Keane. It is Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Oh, shit.
So this is me making up for shitting on Everton by also shitting on Liverpool a little bit.
Yeah.
But yes, the 4 players who've committed the most number of errors leading to goal are Wes Foderingham, a goalkeeper, Tim Ream, a defender who plays for, I'm not sure if he's a defender or midfielder. I think a defender who plays for...
He's a defender.
Defender who plays for Fulham, and Trent Alexander-Arnold of Liverpool and Ashley Young of Everton. And Amogh takes a comfortable 4-point lead in this round. And with that, we come to the last question of this Mukesh's quiz.
All right.
The mini version. right? And we're going with a host favorite, which is the middle name.
Let's go.
Right? You're going to have to tell me the 3 players I'm talking about. Each player will give you 1 point. And you get exactly 1 guess per player, so that's 3 guesses.
Okay.
Correct?
Okay.
I'll give you 1 clue at a time and you can take a guess then.
Okay.
Shaquille scored in a losing cause.
Shaquille scored in a losing cause.
Yeah. And it's referring to this weekend as we have established in the previous versions of this round.
Scored in a losing cause.
I'm referring to a middle name or a last name of a Premier League player.
Right.
Except the middle name or the last name is relatively unknown.
Sure. Okay. Scored in a losing cause. Shaquille scored in a losing cause. Who all lost this weekend? Spurs lost this weekend. Fuck. Ooh, is it Morgan Gibbs White? Because Forest lost against Brighton.
I'm excited to say that you have not gotten any points because this makes it a tighter race for Aakarsh. Right. So the second, Lewis. No, sorry. The next one is Cassio Apollinario de Lira also scored. So Shaquille scored in the losing cause. Cassio Apollinario de Lira also scored.
Was it the same game?
Yes.
Cassio
Apollinario de Lira also scored.
Cassio, fuck. I was going to say that this was Giovanni Lo Celso, but it's not because his team lost. And if Shaquille scored in a losing cause, fuck. Is it Alejandro Garnacho? No, it's not. What am I doing? No, it's the same game. You said it's the same game. Of course, it's wrong.
Yep. Now, final clue is that, but if you get it now, because it's at the last stage, even if you get all 3 names, I wish to reward you only 1 point. So you're playing this for 1 final point, which is that Lewis got a red card.
Right. This is Lewis Dunk.
Oh my God, Amogh. I feel like I have to deduct points for you because of how badly
you played.
It's over. It's over. You can guess, but you will be awarded 0 points. In fact, I feel like because you played this round so badly, I want to deduct points, but I should be a gracious host and do not do that. But I will announce that you get 0 points. But you can. You're talking
about the Chelsea game.
Yep.
You're talking about the Chelsea game. Raheem Shaquille Sterling scored in a losing cause.
Excellent. Who is the Lewis?
Lewis is Reece James.
Excellent.
And who was the
Cassio Apollinario de Lira? Whose middle to last name is that?
Joelinton.
Yep, excellent, but sadly for 0 points.
Yeah.
But well played.
Fuck.
You
such a stupid guess I made.
You could have taken a very, very comfortable lead against Aakarsh, but for now you've kept it very tight.
Yeah.
By securing 10 points in this Mukesh's game mini version, you are now at 45 points, while Aakarsh, due to absence, remains at 41 points. Meaning, for the first time in the history of this version of Mukesh's game, you take the lead. And when we meet again, which hopefully we will meet soon whenever Aakarsh turns up, you will be 4 points ahead of him.
Absolutely. It's going to be great next week.
With a comfortable space. Yes.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice next week. And we shall be back next week. But until then, it is time to say goodbye from this episode. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to The Corner Flag. If you'd like to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought of this episode or any other episode or any other random things that we do, please get in touch with us on our social media. You can find Mukesh on Instagram at
Mukesh Manjunath.
You can find me on Instagram at Amogh Randive.
That's because his name is not Cassio Apollinario de Lira, and that belongs to Joelinton.
That does belong to Joelinton, and I know that now. I will remember this for the rest of my life. You can also follow the Corner Flag on Instagram and Twitter @cornerflagpod. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@cornerflagpod. All the episodes in audio format will be up there. Plus, there'll be some video snippets, some shorts, some live streams that we'll do from time to time as well. So it's a lot of fun. Go over there, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends. The more subscribers we have, the more exciting content we can bring to you. And trust me, we have a lot of plans for exciting content. So go over to our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button there. You can also subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. And not just because you also can, you should subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts from. And do not forget to leave us a 5-star review because that really helps us. Shout out to Kaisa Gurda for composing our theme tune. And until next week, it is goodbye from us to say bye, Mukesh.
Bye, guys.
And it's bye from me.
Experience the magic of the holidays at the Bull Run Festival of Lights, Northern Virginia's largest drive-through light show. Drive the festival route from the comfort of your car. Turn off your headlights and just follow the magical glow. Ooh and ah through the winter wonderland where it's always snowing, and see the tallest light display yet. Purchase tickets today at bullrunfestivaloflights.com. That's bullrunfestivaloflights.com. Northern Virginia's largest drive-through light show.